Anyway. So yeah, so you have basically you have two circles and then a rectangle. Doesn't matter. You have two circles and a rectangle. Yes? Oh,
We
Ben.
have a nice short lesson.
Nice
Which
answer.
is just.
That's so that we can spend a lot of time checking the lesson before, probably.
No, I thought I learned it.
I'm a little bit worried about the cylinder things.
Nice formulas, exactly, Mr. Kent.
They are.
You should see my other formulas. I have such great formulas.
Probably the best formulas.
Did you see this formula?
Everybody looks at them and they're like, he has the best formulas.
Did you see this formula? No? Oh, where was it?
Which one's that?
Oh, it's a really big fat one that I use instead of all the little ones.
I tried to use that one, but it just confused me.
SA equals
Where you
2
at?
pi times radius squared plus 2 times pi times radius times height.
Mm-hmm.
And I used it and I got that answer. but
Yes.
It was kind of a pain.
Oh well. Where was it? Somebody used the wrong. Oh, maybe it was you.
No,
Used the
no, it wasn't
wrong
me.
formula.
But not really an answer.
No, wrong answer too. That's why you got the wrong answer here, because you used the wrong formula. Really, you had to use the perimeter formula. You're supposed to use the area formula.
So I found my way clear to just go ahead and mark that one too. All right. All right. So number 127. You did it in class?
Yeah, we did like five in class too.
You
Yeah,
did
we did 5 and 5.
No, we
Yeah, we
didn't.
might have done
We did not.
28 in class.
All right, so I'll just run through the numbers here and just assume you're going to be right, just because that's usually a better way to get some
Well,
of
can
that
you
stuff
get
in
the-
class. Number 100.48 centimeters squared. 2, 25.12 centimeters squared. 301.44 square centimeters. And 4 is 401.92 square centimeters. Number 5 is 298.3 square centimeters.
What? I got that one.
For these,
Yeah.
for like number 6, I'm kind of confused. Like, which one do you put first?
They're supposed to go alphabetically.
I didn't know that.
It's not a big deal, but as a general rule, they will put their answers alphabetically. Don't count them wrong if they're not.
I think all mine are.
Because like for number 6, you should have 4b plus c. If you have c plus 4b, that's not wrong. That's the same answer. The only time it matters is if there's subtraction, but then like in 7b, it's a plus 5b minus 3c, and you couldn't actually switch the minus, you can't actually switch that around.
I know, but like, so.
Well, you can keep your minus.
Yeah,
If you
so-
keep your minus in front of your 3c,
I
then
know.
it'll work.
Can you read 6 again? I was busy checking.
6a, 4b plus c.
So if you have a 1C, that's just a C, right? So
Yes.
And
Yes.
B is 6x plus 15y.
6b is 6x plus 15y minus 3.
I got that one right actually.
7a, negative 2x minus 6y plus 23.
What?
Plus 23. And 7b is a plus 5b minus 3c plus 6.
I have 1A. Does that matter?
Yes.
1A is the same as
If you have 1a, I'm still going to mark it wrong because it's technically incorrect. You need to have a. If you have a single, if you have 1a, it'd be saying like 1 times whatever number. You just don't need it. And part of the point of algebra is to get rid of extra numbers. So I'm going to be a little bit hard on that because I think that can be, if you learn it now, you won't have to learn it later. But once you do the algebra.
cents in 2 years. 8A. The answer is negative 2x plus 2y minus 5. B is x plus y minus 5. C is x plus 2y. And if you have a plus or minus a 0,
Hey,
that just technically you don't need that. Yes?
For B, is it okay if I went X plus 1y minus 5?
I was telling you there's mark that one.
I know,
If
but
you
it's
have
right in the
1y,
middle of the thing, and
I
it
know.
has a 2 right there.
If you have a 1y, then it is just simply y. X plus y minus 5. Get it wrong now, you won't get it wrong later. That's my theory. Alright, number 9. Number 9A is a right triangle, and B is also a right triangle. And 10. A is $4.38. B is $754.38.
I got $6.30 for my intro.
I got $4.20.
Yes, me too. We're right. We're right.
Mr.
$4.20.
Kent, because I just went 1 divided by 12 and then
It
1
came out with
0.08, and I just used that as my mark, and that should not be wrong.
Ah,
So there, answer key.
suck it up.
okay.
I'm gonna get a failed grade.
So what they did,
Yeah, but like, how do you get that for the year like that? I think that's what threw me off.
so they're saying basically what they're doing here is they're using a fraction. And they're changing it to a, I mean, they're working it out. So basically what they did here is they got 5250,
What?
which just kind of makes sense,
Not really.
over 1 times 112.
And
So
that's
5250,
not what I
the 5250 was basically what they did is they multiplied their percentage out first. So they went $750 times 0.07.
What?
I went 52.
Yeah, I did that too.
Times
Yeah, I got that.
I went that right,
Yeah,
and then I went
exactly.
times 0.08, which is right.
So you did, okay, so you got 5250 what?
52.50
Yes.
times 0.12.
No, that's wrong. Because it's 112.
But if you go
112
Well,
is
Mr.
different.
Kent, I did everything right.
Point 12 is different than 112.
Mr. Kent, I did everything right except for that last month part, and it's just in the decimal form. It's like right now.
Yeah.
Right, so which decimal did you use? 0.07?
0.08.
0.08. So the problem is that you rounded it.
I went 1 divided
Well,
by 12.
yeah, it did round, but it didn't round up.
I rounded down. And that's how you got 20 cents. Okay, for that I'll give you a half point.
For both of them?
If you had 420.
So it's just half round for both of them?
Yeah, half. Basically, if you did your addition right,
That's right. That's one wrong for the whole problem.
No, if you did your addition right,
I did my addition.
Yeah,
that's
it's all
fine.
right until.
Don't count that wrong if you got your addition right.
So it's only half wrong for A and B.
Just 1/2 wrong for A. If you got $4.20.
But then on B, I got $754.20.
Right.
So then
But the reason that's wrong is because the first one was wrong.
Yeah.
You did your addition correct, which is all that's checking.
Okay.
So if you did your addition correct, don't count that one.
Okay.
But the .12 is wrong, unfortunately. The 0.12, because it's not, you're off 4 hundredths roughly on your decimal.
I don't care about decimals right at the moment.
You have to start carrying
I
here.
do something.
Yes? You had something you were gonna say?
I do, but now I do, but I'm not sure if I should say it. I mean, it wouldn't be bad,
All right, 11A, 3,827. B, 90 times 40 equals 360. 3,600. 12. $13,333.50.
I got that one out.
but I didn't do it.
That's good.
I actually got it wrong. That's amazing.
13 is a right triangle. 14 variable and exponent, 15 coefficient, 16 constants, 17 1.1 yards, and 5/8 of a mile. 18, 32 fluid ounces, 128 fluid ounces.
Wait, for 18A, 64.
18A is 32 quarts. 64 and a half gallon. 4 and 2 quarts. 19 is 0.375. B 0.83, repeating 3. 20 is mean, and D equals RT. 21, negative 55N plus 66. B is 56N minus 48. C is 7N minus 56. 22A is 12. B is negative 14. C is 2.
First, 21C had 8N minus 56.
21C of 8N minus 56. And 7 times 1 is what? You have to multiply your 7 times 1. But you have two negatives, so it'll make
You
a
guys did plus in my head.
I didn't do that on any of them.
You can do that sometimes on any of them. That's why you got them all wrong.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute. 23, 1.5 quarts. B, 1,600 acres. 24, 4.41. 4.41.
For 32A, I have 1 1/4 quart.
Mr. Grant, for 4, for
Hang on,
24,
for which is what? Which one do you have, Leah? You have 1.25 quarts?
Yeah. Made sense to me.
Yeah, and I have 16,000 acres.
I have that for B too.
16,000 is also
where is this?
1,600 acres. 2.5 miles squared. Basically, you just
Oh,
go,
that.
you go
640.
640 times 2.5.
I think I did that. It's just, oh, I forgot to move my decimal.
That'll do it. Yep, if you drop your. if you
I went
1.5,
640 plus 640 plus 320.
Where, for what?
So instead, well, times 2.
Oh, for B?
I just did it 640 plus 640 plus 320.
That's what you need to hire a mathematician. You can do it the hardest way possible.
Yeah.
That's like the easiest way possible.
No, not even
Yeah.
close.
We did it all at once.
Hey, Mr. Garrett, for 24, I got 4.31.
4.31. That's unfortunately not correct. It's 4.41 for 24 acres.
Problem.
For B is 9/49. For C is 4/9. It feels like we should go back through these and just work on some of them today.
I got the other one.
25 is 50 in parentheses, $50 in parentheses, and 4%, also in parentheses. 26 is $60, not in parentheses, and 9%. 27A. Your final answer should be x equals 72.
72.
What happens if you only have 72? I don't have X equals.
I got X
Take a half
equals 2.
of that.
Well,
X equals 2.
that,
Yikes.
what do you put? 2
That's a
over
big
6.
difference.
Oh, so what you did, so you were supposed to, so here's
That
where
is
you
not
messed
what
up.
I did.
You hang on. Yeah, I mean, being vocal is fine, but that vocal is being a little obnoxious. Alright, so here's what you have, right? You have x over 6 equals 12, right? You have that part?
And I have 6 under 12.
That's a problem. The way you, this is division. The way you're in division is you multiply by 6. So now you can get rid of your 6's, and x equals 72. Because this is division, you have to get rid of it by doing the opposite. Alright. B, 2 and 11/18. C,
What is B?
2 and 11/18.
3 and 18. I have 2
Three.
and 3.
Oh,
Right.
so why is that happening?
It's 2 and 11/18.
I'm going to cross out my 7 and make it 6.
Yes. C is 27 and 5/24.
I wasn't sure about that one.
Did you have 26 and, or did you have it right?
Yeah.
I have 26 and 19 24.
Alright. 28. Your answer should be
628.
If you're right at the, if you're wrong at the first number,
Woohoo,
down
I win the prize for the most wrong.
Oh, shit.
All right, and double check your,
actually, Richard, I have it right.
Did you double check what?
formulas.
I'm pretty sure I got all my formulas.
Oh,
Can't believe I got it on that. Yeah, got it. Here, better be one.
I think I beat you.
4.5, Mom.
4.5.
4 and
I
a half.
have you beat.
I have a beat. How many do you have? Me?
11.
No, you got me beat. I got 8.
How many beat?
5 and a half. I think you better.
I'm gonna need to tie a chain on this.
Yeah, and
Don't
look at
simple
yourself.
time problem.
It's just there. Look at
Yes, so don't forget, there's 61 problems.
GI. Oh, I thought it said GI.
Did I put it away? Yes, I did. Weird.
Alright, just find things.
How am I supposed to find it? It's away. Alright. You said you had 4.5 or
Yes.
held at a 93.
9 and 5 and a half.
5.5 is going to be a 91.
So it's the same.
8.
I'm already.
8 wrong is an 87.
11.
82.
Mr. Kent, do you want a visual riddle?
Yeah. That's it. Maybe later.
Visual riddles have definitely been riddles.
Mr. Kent,
Yes?
I vote that we're allowed to use a calculator on 10. Anybody second the motion?
I second.
I second.
It's hard to
Oh.
use, it's hard to use a
Triple
calculator
the
when you have
motion.
22/7, isn't it?
He's used 3.4.
That's what got you wrong the other day.
It
Was it
did.
you? Somebody used
How's that,
22
how
over
does that
7.
make it wrong?
Well, basically, because 22 over 7 is an approximation. Same as 3.14, but it's a different approximation. So you come
It's an
up with
approximation. It's not completely correct. There's lies and on top.
you gotta hit with more vim and there. All right. No.
Richard's life might depend
What?
on
You
can
do fractions on these.
I only said that you can.
Can you get it on yours?
Can I, do you think I can do fractions on this one? I don't think so. Please, I want to use it.
It's this one.
Well, right here's the pie button.
I can do
This
this.
one.
That's good.
Then you have that.
What if you give 3.14159 something else?
I bet Liam has it.
Wait.
This one.
I never memorized it past that.
And it's 3.142.
3.142?
Oh, yeah, right.
That's what 22
This is how you
is.
2, 8, 5, 7. How do you do track? How do you
So
do
we
fractions
could,
on
we
that?
could just use pi
Tuesday
3.142.
has the same. These have the same.
I know. I don't know. How do you do?
I barely even know how to use this calculator.
You can't do it on yours. Oh.
And I also have this square button on mine, which comes in very handy in the Pythagorean theorem.
Him and Richard.
All right.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, let's go first.
So we're talking about probability again,
I'm putting my fractions on my calculator.
but we're getting a little more in depth, and we're starting to assign ratios. All right?
Probability is like mathematicians.
Awesome.
It's like a mathematician goes,
like
one guy goes and
mathematician
makes a German chocolate cake like 3 stories high, and the next guy makes a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And this is the peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Mathematicians are like, oh boy, chocolate cake. Anyway, it's actually not very hard. All right? So we're going to start with, we're going to use, you know what's hard about it, though, is I got to draw a bunch of little dots. Little dots are here.
Yay.
We're going to use this. All right. Yeah, cinnamon roll candy and sour apple. All right. So in the first set of circumstances, we have 9 sour apple. That's all we get.
In the second set of circumstances, we have like such. Well, unfortunately, I can't make this as likely as unlikely, but it's all right.
Yeah, you can. One is half of them.
Yeah, get a half.
That would be so gross.
Actually, we could do it this way. We'll make 8 for this one. 6, 7, 8. I need one out. Somebody ate one.
Mr. Campbell,
Somebody
you
stole
one.
one.
Stole one, yes. Yeah, we'll leave that for
Hey,
some.
Mr. Camp.
We won't be blaming anybody.
Or did that? Or
Yes.
Don't you think we should be eating those Star Wars before?
Before Dustin gets back, that's a good idea.
He's back already.
I know, but
I know, but we don't want
Yeah.
him to show up and give us more candy if we have neglected to eat.
Yeah, you better pour it out fast.
That was shameful.
Pour it down
on
real
that.
quick.
All right. So what we have is, didn't they like cinnamon sour cream?
Me?
Cinnamon.
I love
I don't
cinnamon.
like that, but I don't know what they kind of like them.
Like,
Like Red Hots or whatever they
Yeah,
are.
that's
Juju
right.
bears. Have you ever had Juju bears? They're like cinnamon gummy bears. They're so
Are they big?
good.
Are they
I like
Yeah,
gummy bears.
big.
big? Yeah, I've had them.
I do not appreciate cinnamon.
I love
Really?
cinnamon.
I like to get that for you.
I'll do sour apple. Give me sour. I'll swap it for a sour apple.
No.
I don't like
Alright.
sour apple.
So what we're going to talk about now, so
Sour apple.
obviously we can go through this, and Chris, we would say this is that we get green apple. Impossible to get
Candy or whatever.
the cinnamon, whatever abomination. Yes, it would be impossible to get the cinnamon. Here it would be, Richard,
Likely.
Unlikely.
unlikely to get cinnamon.
Oh, I thought it was likely.
Well, which way?
We're talking about cinnamon.
Okay.
The cinnamon ones are the ones that we're talking about. So it's unlikely to get cinnamon. Here it would be as likely as unlikely to get
No, unlikely is likely.
That one now would
It
be
doesn't matter. Same difference. 6 and 1/2 dozen together.
That would be likely.
unlikely.
This one is likely, you're likely to get cinnamon, and here it's
certain.
certain to get cinnamon. Unless you don't reach into the bag, which would be the other option.
I'm reaching into the bag. How can it be certain?
Huh? That's right. Very few things are certain. All right. So if we're going to describe this as ratios, right? We would say our possibility here for getting the we would describe this as a ratio. We'd say our possibility for getting this cinnamon thing is a 0 out of 10, right? Here you have a 9, my bird. Here we have,
3 out of
we
9.
would call this one a 3 out of 9. Or, are they doing it that way or are they doing it a different way? Yes, that's what we're doing. You never know. what
Why do you say it like that? My bird.
Because my dad is boring. Somebody else has already done it.
It's just funny.
Yeah, well,
So it's sorry I blew up.
all right, so this one we're gonna have to watch a little closer because this is a little bit 8 of them. Alright.
Or 4 8.
4 over 8 is how
So
we
you
do it.
want to have reduced it.
Right, and you can reduce these ratios as well, which, obviously we go 1 to 2, this would be, that's our probability of actually pulling one. And here we could reduce this as well to
1/3.
1 over 3. All right, and here we have
6 over 3. Yeah, 6 over
6 over 9, because we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
6 over 9.
So you can reduce that down to like, what, so it would be 9
1/3.
2/3. And then this one is
9
9 out of 9,
Which
which is
1
1 over 1. So basically, 1. Well, except we can't do that with the ratio. So that's how you express 100% probability. The thing is, basically what they're saying is, this situation, or what we're saying, this situation, we might as well just have 2 green apple and 1 cinnamon, right?
Yeah.
That's essentially what's going on.
And then
Because you have the same probability.
Just have 1 cinnamon and 2. Wait, no.
No, in this one, you'd have 1 and 1.
Yeah.
That's your probability of, you're going to get one or the other. That's why you have the 2. So your probability is
And then the next
expressed
would be
as
like
such.
2.
Right.
You said.
We understand that. We're not gonna talk about it anymore.
Is number 1 likely or sure? It's likely, right?
Well, how can you
That's
reduce it to a
likely.
1/1?
I don't know.
Right, so that's not certain.
You like it.
No, but
I
that's.
mean, my luck would be I'd get the sim,
Yeah. I mean,
but I
I
could probably
kinda
pawn it
doubt.
off on some unfortunate.
You'd have to be really like.
So-
Yeah,
the
exactly.
4 over
2
100.
is impossible.
4 over 100 is what?
That's just very unlikely, but.
Yeah, but there's no very unlikely, so
Yeah,
it's
so-
unlikely.
It's just
Impossible.
impossible. I guess it wouldn't be impossible.
It's not
It's
impossible,
unlikely.
it's unlikely. Yes. C
C is
is
as likely as unlikely.
precisely. D is
Likely?
still likely, yes, it's likely.
And then 5 is D, right?
5 is also likely, very
Then
likely.
D, and then 6 is D.
Yeah, unlikely.
Unlikely again.
And then, let's see, 7 is,
B.
D. B.
7 is
Oh,
likely or unlikely?
okay, I was like.
7
following-
is D. 7 is D.
I was still on 100, so.
Yeah, that'll get you, you gotta look at the bottom number, they did that on purpose. Yeah, 7 is D. Alright, so basically, so here we go. Number 8, we're gonna give this ratio, this probability ratio in the simplest form, right? So there's 30 butterscotch and 18 watermelon.
So.
You should reach in without looking, so we have to figure out the probability that you'll choose a butterscotch.
That's not.
So-
3/5.
No, no, no.
That's the
So
ratio.
you would add
Not
them all
quite.
together.
It's 9.
You got 48.
48.
The important thing to do is to add them together, so you have 48 as your bottom number.
What the?
And what's your top number?
30.
Right, so you have 30 over 48. Now reduce that to its lowest form, which is, don't say it. Tell everybody
What?
what.
What the, I'm like trying to figure out.
Okay, so here's the deal. He's got, because they have 30 and 18 together,
Yeah.
you have to add those together. So his,
Why?
because that's everything. It's the whole entire, it's like this, 9 here.
Oh, I
It's
have
all-
it. I have it now. I have it.
Wait.
There's
So
the
this
over.
is- So you have 30 over 48, because 48 is the
Yeah.
total amount that's in the jar. 30 is the amount here, and that's the probability we're looking for. So, you reduce it,
Yeah.
what do you have?
5, 8.
Bingo!
Really?
I think.
Why?
I have that too.
15 over 36. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because they're both divisible.
So is the answer 5, 8?
The answer is 5/8.
Okay.
5 over 8.
So these
Well, 5 to 8.
And
The next one has a very.
38,
Yeah.
You're supposed to
22.
reduce, you're supposed to reduce it.
11 over.
Easy. Easy. Giving away answers. Willy-nilly.
Okay, I have that one.
And,
You have it?
No.
Alright, so remember you have to have your total number on the bottom. Easy, lemon squeezy.
Okay, it's easy.
You got it?
I don't think.
Alright, so what's your number before you reduce it, Cody?
22 over 38.
22 over 38. And you reduce it to, Chris?
11, 19.
11 over 19.
I have it.
Why don't we do 10 in class?
Yeah.
I
And
second
then
the motion.
Then you send us
I
straight.
third it. I fourth it. Go ahead.
I fifth it.
Ate it. Cody ate the motion.
Well, there it is. 27 is another one of those things. So yes,
What?
we'll do number 10 in class. 27 is another syllable.
Really? How many square feet?
Drinking your just cruel.
I need a drink of water.
You get a nice long drink of paint. No. All right. So we have our cylinder. What is measurements?
I think we should actually do number 27.
Oh, we're gonna do number 10. That's the easiest one.
Excuse me?
Exactly. That's what I was.
It's okay. The hard ones are the ones traditionally in class.
Yeah. Okay. 7 is the radius.
The
Nine
radius
is the height.
is the radius is
The
7.
answer for
The height is which?
9.
9.
So.
All right. First things first.
Area equals pi r squared.
Area
Pi r
equals
squared
22
times
over
two.
7 times 4.
You have to stick your 2
Over
in
one.
there. I always forget that stupid little 2.
R squared. Yes.
A equals
Put that
22 over
in
7
All
times
right.
49 over 1.
Area equals 22 over 7 times, so let's do 7 times 7, which is 49 over 1. As Richard said. Perfect. The only reason I do the 22 over 7 is because it's easier to reduce that way. You get an easier, more accurate number. Leah, what happens when you reduce this?
Just a second.
Okay. And be
Yeah,
that
1
percent.
minus 7 wasn't 7 minus 49.
1 and 7, all right. So area equals
22 over 7. No, you have to go 22 times
22 times
7.
7, what's that?
154.
What's 11 times 14?
150.
Is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
The total answer. Times 2, because there's 2 circles.
All right, so 154 over 1, so area equals
So
154
308.
times 2.
Yeah.
Area
A equals 308.
308.
I did that myself.
I can do that in my head.
And then you go C
All right.
equals pi d.
Good. Now Richard can just keep his little shut and work on everybody else.
C equals pi d is the next one.
C equals
So you
pi
D.
d.
And then
What are we
you-
looking for?
What?
The diameter, or you're looking for the circumference.
We're looking for the circumference. Why?
Because
So you can just put that length.
Right, so like if we were to unwrap this, I don't know, 2
Yeah.
again or whatever it is. All right.
So 14 times 22 over 7.
Yeah.
14 over 1.
Yeah, 14 over
22
1
over 7
times 14 over 1.
times 14 over 1.
How did you get that?
Because.
And then
you have
it-
to get
and then
diameter.
round-
The diameter is 14.
Oh, yes.
That's the important part. All right.
And 7
So
would
here-
go to 1 and 14 would go to
7
2.
becomes a 1, 14 becomes a 2. 22 times 2 is 44. So that's the
Yeah.
top of our.
Nice
So
thought,
then-
All right, now Chris can be quiet.
Oh, baby.
So we now have C equals 44.
44 times 9.
Why?
Yeah, because then you.
Because that's how you do it.
That's to find the.
I want to know the formula. You need the formula. Area
A equals
equals
LW, not H.
A equals LW. No H on this one. That's correct. So area equals length times width. We'll call the length times width. Yeah, sure. All right. So we'll call the area 44. We'll call the
44
length
times 9.
44, and then we'll have the width be 9. Oh wait, that's
So it'd be 396.
Richard, and say what?
396.
396
Yeah, and then you plus 396 plus 308.
plus.
And you
Wait,
can
what's your
call it
answer,
that.
Leah? I want to know Leah's answer.
704
704 what?
inches squared,
No.
inches cubed. You said 2 meters squared.
Go square centimeters. Yes.
Funny.
Yes, that is the correct answer. 704.
That's a lot of
Centimeters.
verbiage. I'm gonna be cheating
Easy does it. It's not a race.
We're gonna have to do that mechanic class if you guys go to.
I feel like racing
What
it
is
just
the
for the
mechanic?
kicks. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm gonna do some fun. I'll race it just for the
Well, I'll
kicks, just
just
to see
take
if you
mine.
can.
No, as far as racing somebody goes, I'm just not in favor.
When me and Richard
I'd
were
much rather
at
get
today,
the-
we
get
would
the
race
right
each
answers.
other like every day.
I know you do, and that's why I have struggles with the penmanship and the general sloppiness.
No, we're not racing each other. If we're in trouble, we do it. Like, that's so funny.
Mr. Derek could get so
Because it'd be
Because
like.
I got all my work done before first recess one time. He
I
was
did
like,
that too.
okay, if you're gonna do that, we're gonna see how bad of a grade you get. And I got like 100 on everything.
That is
I
really
think
annoying,
we
yes.
all did that in this class. We
Yeah, we all-
all done so fast. Well, he gave us lots of subjects. too.
And I got
And
bad.
the
We had a lot of
And we literally get it done right away and we get
So
good
many
grades in it.
subjects, and
We literally get good grades
Yeah,
in it
like
and then we
four
go party the rest of the day.
You didn't like that at all.
And it's like staying
Well,
in
it's
the
really
room.
inconvenient
Did not-
because
We got long recess.
as a teacher, you
Feel like you're not teaching anything.
you feel like, yeah, you feel like you're not teaching anything, so like everybody's like the hardness should get bumped up quite a bit.
But we weren't getting that great.
I know, that's what means, then that doesn't make the teacher feel like, well, maybe we should make all these students learn calculus.
No.
Not calculus.
Okay, guys, take your
That is
time.
out of the school. It's never to enter.
Huh?
First of all, we should probably learn what calculus
Yeah.
First of all, we should
I just
actually
like
know
using-
what algebra is.
Yes, you actually did have to have a working knowledge of algebra first.
Okay.
Even better than what mine was when I first started, so, yes.
is. See, I'm not even in algebra very far yet, so I can't do calculus.
Well, it's right from the algebra done. Ridiculous.
Well, we could just skip the whole book and try doing calculus then.
That would be it.
This
Lisa, that's actually a really
That would be a
bad.
joke.
That would actually be kind of fun. He would just sit up there and talk and we would get
No, okay.
Christy would probably
So,
go
it's just,
She wouldn't be very happy.
I know
I'd be
you're
using
that
symbols
sounds
like
awesome.
this instead of letters, all of a sudden we're down to symbols. And I'm like,
That's
You're
a
like-
triangle and the other one is backwards.
this one means delta.
Sideways.
Maybe
Maybe
it's
it's a teaching.
And this one, I know what it means, but I can't remember the name of it.
Sideways. Yeah, this sideways.
But
Oh,
actually,
no.
maybe
I think it's,
Upside down W.
It's more
actually
That's like what you
there's some other funny ones like.
That's actually right wing E. Like, it's
That
not that.
symbol.
That is. Yeah.
We throw some, yeah, it
Oh,
means,
yeah, it is. It's a
it
backwards.
basically stands for a whole equation. That's what they stand for.
Really?
See, I'm already lost.
What type
But
of
see, what
That's what
happens,
that's-
we wouldn't get any of it, but you could just keep
How
talking.
can
and
you
then-
talk about it?
Yeah, and then
Who
it
cares
wouldn't
what grades
matter.
are?
Yeah.
We did calculus in high school.
Yeah.
And then we'd all get it wrong.
And we
And then we get hundreds because we'd have all got it wrong such
Curveball, yeah. All right.
Yeah, we learned
It's
that.
an odd number of students in here, so it'd be a positive. Yeah. Me and Wayne's both get negatives and then equals a positive.
Number 20.
Can't get a negative percent.
I'm pretty sure we could figure out.
Can't
We
even make
sure
that.
could figure it out.
All right, number one. On lesson two. How did that go yesterday?
Oh, good.
Good.
He helped us quite a bit.
Good. Probably better than I did. I'll just figure it out. Because
Where's these
I think it's that one. or
She
something.
has it written last week.
Or the other one maybe.
biography,
I think those ones need to go in the trash.
biology, that's not important.
There's one, no.
You have to like open it up and look at it.
No, she has algebra written on the
I
front.
think she had algebra on the face of it.
I'm pretty sure that's not.
That's a doodle. We have a doodling competition. I'll be the judge of that.
Oh, good.
That
That one,
That's it.
yeah.
That's, now we're heading in the right direction. Alright, 2.4, 3.3.
Is what we're at.
Doodling is good.
I'm not sure about this last one though.
Okay,
There might be quite a few wrong, just,
well, let's just get it.
if it's over 10
Number
wrong,
one.
you have to say how many wrong I have.
Number one, the answer is x equals 2. 2, the answer is x equals -1,
Negative one?
-1. Because you,
I don't have a negative.
Yeah.
But what am I equal to?
Negative
Should be a
2.
negative one.
-2 divided by 2 should be -1. That's completely wrong. It's
Well,
not.
then it's 48 or 49 negative?
49, practically. No,
Neither of them?
no.
Okay. I'm gonna find on those ones, maybe.
All right, 3, x equals 7, 4, x equals 4, 5, x equals -1/3, 6, x equals 1. 7, your smaller number is n and your larger number is 5n. Use any.
He helped us on that one,
Any variable you want. 8, one piece equals x, the other piece equals 60 minus x.
9. Peanut butter cookies is C, and chocolate chip cookies is 2C.
I didn't have a C there.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I got one of the letters from that peanut butter cookies by B.
I have 2P. That's all I have.
If you have the same,
2P, that's, I have 2P.
you have to have the same variable as for the peanut butter cookies, just multiply by 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
2B is fine. 2B is fine.
2p, or if you have p for the variable,
For the peanut butter
if you have p for the peanut butter cookies and 2p for the chocolate chip, then that's fine.
cookies. No, I just have 2P, like, that's all I have.
Yeah, take a half off there. Number 10, Leanne's hours are h and Brooke's hours are h minus 5. 11 is 44.
I have a negative 44.
Nope, because you had, it was
Those stupid
absolute
negatives.
absolute value of negative, so that would be a positive. Number 12 is 16. 13 is negative 6.
12 is 16.
Yes.
I have 12 for that
Because
one.
it's 17 minus the absolute value of 12.
What
You have to
is
make
12,
sure-
13, negative 6.
13 is negative 6, yes.
I have 10 for that one.
Negative 24
Seems like we should talk
divided
about
by
this.
negative 3, I guess.
Do we have any in today's lesson?
I don't know what they mean.
I don't know, but I got 4 wrong right there. So.
I got 11, 12, and 13. Which problems
Okay. We don't have any problems with that. I do want to talk about that though. I want to finish checking them first. So we'll come back to those and talk about them. 14 is 6, 15 is 1, 16 is 16, and 17 is negative 9. 18 is negative 2. 19 is 60. 20 is negative 36. 21 is 4. 22 is negative 4. 23 is negative 3. 24 is x plus 1.
I don't have plus 1.
You don't use that x?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
No.
Well, where's the plus 1 in there?
So you have 3x plus 3 over 3?
3 over 3 equals 1. I already have 6 wrong.
So this 1 would be x plus 1.
Hope it's consequences.
There are, seems like quite a bit of problems here. Hang on, where were we at? 25? 9x squared plus 10xy. 26 is 2 minus 1y. 27
You
1 over y.
1 over 1.
2 minus.
I don't have it like that. I have 2 minus 1.
No, because
This is
you
a
can't
bad
simplify- You can't simplify 1 over y. 1 over y is the lowest terms. Y over 1 would be y, but 1 over y is just 1 over y. 27 is 6, 28 is 36, 29 is 76. 30,
How are that?
well, it's absolute values again. I'll come back and talk about them. 30, 6x cubed minus 21x.
I don't have X on that one.
31, 12x to the fourth plus 18x to the third minus 24x squared. Those can be swapped up a little bit as long as the minus 24x goes one chunk. 32, 5 over 3. 33 is 11 and a quarter. 34 is 3 over 20. 35 should be reduced to 15 over 1 for students to teachers.
Does it have to be students, teachers?
Teachers to students,
Yeah.
so you have 115.
Yeah.
And 36 students to chaperones is 61. 37. 512. 193 Celsius or 347 Fahrenheit. 39 is 53 years old. 40. The mother's age now is A, and mother's age 10 years ago is A minus 10. 41.
I didn't know that's the kind you had to put back on.
I just have an N minus 10.
Yeah, that's exactly how I did all of these, because I was not here for that class. But that was, I just did like
Okay,
3.5.
write it in the right
But
way.
see, it's different because this is 3 point, or 2.13 and that's 3.2. So we should have that.
Say again. What are you begging for?
But it's not the same, it should be N minus 10. Yeah, it's just N minus 10. On these
Okay, well, it says mother's age now is A, and mother's age 10 years ago is A minus 10.
So it's just A minus
They won't hold them, and I will.
10. What is it? A minus 10 and N minus 10?
Mother's age 10 years ago. Basically, like you have to start with, like, you have to figure out like, where your A is coming from, right? So you have to just designate what your, you have to designate what your A stands for, right? So mother's age now equals A they have, which you can use whichever you want.
And
And the mother's age 10 years ago, it equals A minus 10. But the reason I have this is because without it, we don't really have anything to go off. I mean, the A is just kind of a random number we have laying around. But we have to designate
You
what
want
the A
us to write
stands
that
for.
in?
Yes, write that in. 41. Length is L, width is W, so 2W equals L. That's what they want for
You help us.
L equals 2W. No,
Matt, I think.
L equals 2W.
That'll work, yes. It doesn't matter what you have. All right. 42 is index. 43 radicand. 44 x equals 1/3. 45 x equals 8. 46 x equals -7. 47 is x equals -3. 48 x equals 1. 49 x equals 1. 50 x equals my bad, x equals 6. 51 is x equals 1. 52 is x equals 4.
You can pick class names.
You still can't spell and then not reading. Spell and then not reading.
Yeah, I did change the reading Bible with lesson 2.
We have reading and Bible.
Just Bible. And music later today. No, not music. No, sorry, music's tomorrow.
Mr.
Just-
Cat, are we already almost done with this?
We're gonna
Section
do
in
music
history.
pretty soon.
No, we're gonna throw you on to, no, we're gonna put you in the next unit test is when it turns over.
Oh.
That's 14.
14 wrong, 73,
No.
83,
I didn't know.
89. All right,
It was a bad one.
Mystery.
What I mostly got wrong was a bunch of, I
Yeah,
had a
absolutely.
bunch, no, I had a bunch that were negative and they weren't supposed to be negative, and some that were positive and they were supposed to be. On the-
Probably has to have some values or not,
No,
or just.
in the new part,
Oh, in the new part.
yeah. And I noticed that the number, where is it?
Basically, it just comes down to you were simplifying incorrectly, correct?
On number 13 in this lesson. Can we do that?
Sure.
5x minus 3 equals 2x plus 6. Alright, first things first, we gotta take care of this parentheses.
5x plus 15.
Right. We're going to use the distributive properties, 5x minus 15. It's 5 times x, 5 times 3, or negative 3, 15, equals 2x plus 6. So now we have to get the x on one side, get our numbers on the other.
Minus 2 on both sides.
So you go minus 2x,
3x. And then plus 15 on both
3x,
sides.
minus 15.
Yeah, how do you know to add 15 or minus 6? Because we'll come up with a totally different number.
Because the
So this
3x
has-
is on
I mean, it will
both
come
sides.
up with.
Basically, it doesn't really matter. Your numbers will be the same. Your numbers will be the same whether you put your 5x here, I mean, whether you, I'll show you, I'll show you how it comes out, all right? So here,
No,
so
because
we want to put our,
one will be negative and the other one will be positive.
no, it won't actually. So here you have your 3x, so you gotta get rid of your 15, you have negative 15, so you have to add to get rid of it, right?
So it's positive 21, or you could go minus 6 on both
Hang
sides,
on.
and that would be.
But then you have nothing on the other side, and you can't do that. So 3x,
7.
all right, so we're gonna do this a different way, and I'll show you that it does work out. All right, so now we have 5x minus 15 equals 2x plus 6. So now we're going to subtract 5x. So we have negative 15, we have a bunch of negatives, which is inconvenient, which is why I would recommend it together, but it doesn't work out. All right, so now if you get rid of 6, get rid of 6. Negative 21 equals negative 3x. You divide by negative 3, negative 3, and 7 equals x. You just, basically, in this situation, you just have negatives to walk with.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't know if, because I was having problems deciding if I should go minus 6, like on that one, minus 6 or
Oh,
plus
here.
15. Yeah.
Yeah, so the deal is, the main rule that you have to follow is that you're trying to get x by itself, right? So you gotta separate everything away from x. So x is on you have to add and subtract the x on its side by itself, and then you multiply and divide to get x by itself. That's the route you gotta go down. All right, polynomials. Basically, it's just kind of a word you know. Polynomials are simply when you have algebraic expressions separated by plus or minuses. We've already been using them. Basically, it's just terminology. That's all we're talking about today. So a polynomial is whenever you have an expression that is greater than, for example, 5 is not a polynomial. Neither is 5x a polynomial, right? It's only once you have, say, 5 plus 5x. Now this is a polynomial, also known as a binomial, because it has, bi means 2, same as bicycle has 2 wheels. This is a binomial because it has 2 expressions, right?
Okay, but what about the mono?
Oh, well that is a monomial, my bad. Ha, nobody ever talked about those,
Really?
my bad. Monomial, they call that. So 5x is just simply, I mean, if you have this, that'd be a mono.
Yeah. But
Same as you would
why
have
is
monomial.
monomial a polynomial? Because it's
I'm
a,
not sure.
because a
Nobody ever,
polynomial has
nobody ever
plus
talks
or
about,
minus.
nobody ever talks about monomials. I've never heard anybody say the word monomial in my life. But monomial simply, mono means one, right?
Yeah.
It, like Monopoly, there's only one winner. One person ends up with all the money. That's what the mono stands for.
It doesn't really be a polynomial. but-
Not really, no. Mono means one. This is a, which one is it? Because it has 2 expressions, it's a binomial. Binomial binomial means 2. Bi means 2, same as bicycle. Or, what else would be bi? Bi. Can't think of one. And if we have this would be we call this a trinomial. A trinomial, because it has 3 expressions. Same as a tricycle. So tri means 3, bi means 2, mono means 1. And then anything bigger than that is just a polynomial. Right? So for number 1, we would call that, the degree of that term, we would call that, we would call it a monomial.
I didn't get any of it besides one.
Say again?
But how do you figure out?
Why did they do that? It's just,
So
it says the degree for the term 3x plus y squared is 6. So for number 1, I wrote the 7th degree. Because it says right degree of each group. So I wrote 7th.
You're right. That's a different thing than, oh, I see. Never mind, I thought all they were talking about just turning out, no, they're talking about degrees. But yes, 7 would be correct. Basically, you have to add the exponents together. So
The next
the
one
degree
is-
of 2 would be,
5.
yes.
And the next one is just going to be 3.
The next one is going to be the 3rd degree, yes. Because x technically has an exponent of 1. So basically, what we're doing is we're classifying these polynomials. That'll teach me to only read the first part. Basically, you'll classify your polynomials by whether it's a monomial, binomial, or trinomial. Those shouldn't be hard things to remember, I don't think. At least they aren't for me. But then when we say, we classify them as, so as a, we call it for example, number 1, we would say that's a 7th degree monomial.
You have
Right.
to write 7th
No, you don't have to say monomial.
You have to do that for number.
For number 5,
You do 4th degree.
oh, no, that's just the degree of the polynomial, that's just the degree there, so that's just the 4th degree.
Yeah.
Fourth.
You just have to write
It's the
4th
biggest
degree.
one, so next one is 6.
You have to write 4th degree for all of them.
No, just write 4th degree for that one. For
You don't have to write
For 8, for number 8, you have to say, number 8 would be a trinomial with 3 variables of the 6th degree. Because those all are the 6th degree. So it's a trinomial because it has 3 expressions
The trinomial.
And then it says complete the description.
with 3 variables to the 6th. Where is the line? 3 variables. And that's just using the biggest one. 3 variables to the 6th degree.
They're not all 6.
I know, but they go for the biggest one.
The next one is going to be
Number 9 is going to be a, what do you call that? A trinomial
again.
with how many variables?
2.
2 variables of the 2nd degree. Let me look at the rules. So that's a 7th degree. So the degree is found by comparing the degree of each term. The degree with the highest degree is the degree of the polynomial. Right. Yes, that would make sense. So number 9, a trinomial with 2 variables of the 2nd degree. Number 10, what's
It's a
that?
binomial
With
1 variable to the 3rd degree.
help on 38.
No, let's go back and do 6 and 7, make sure we have that nailed down. Number 6 is,
I don't get number 8.
I'm
Why
trying to
did
decide
I?
why they're combining there and not there. That's what I'm trying to decide.
You mean
It's
it's
an 8th degree.
Because in number 6, they're calling that the 8th degree.
Yeah, it is the 8th degree.
Right,
That's
because
M.
M, N, and P, so those are each 1 degree. And M and N are both a degree, and so that's 6 is a degree, so that's 8th degree.
Yeah. But on 8 through 10, why do they have 8? Why do they have it 3 variables to the 6th degree when the 1 doesn't have? Is it the 6th?
Because they just go with the highest one.
I know, but then on 9, why don't they have 3 variables to the 7th degree?
A trinomial with 2 variables in the second degree is what they have on 9.
I know, but why isn't it 3
Why do they do
variables?
that?
Because there is 3.
Terminology. Also, why do they do that? I'm not really worried about this at all. For a long time.
On which one are you on?
Say again.
Which one are you on?
Number 9. They say 2 variables of the second degree, which just simply means that the other one doesn't have any exponents. But when
But there's only 2 different
But when
variables
it
in
does,
there.
when it does have
oh no! But here's the deal. Because the x and the y.
the X and the Y will come together.
Yeah, because there's 2 different variables, not
So
more.
that would be the second degree as well. Wow. I feel like they messed up. Because they say 2 variables in the second degree. And that,
Why is that wrong?
because there's 3 to the second. Because the x, y, that's the second degree. I know.
I know, but
But,
same as
but
like
see,
on
in number 6,
M,
where they have M, N, and then P to the 6th, they call that 8th degree. Even if M and N don't have an exponent. I'm gonna have to do some research in other places on that one, because that one sure doesn't seem right to me at all.
I remember when Trenton was teaching
I'm
this.
not actually.
He would go
worried
with,
about it, I'm just
there's
gonna-
another teacher he would go with.
I'm gonna get the other ones wrong, if I don't know, like.
If you don't know why, yes. So number 10, what do you have? Oh, we already did that one. With 1 variable of the 3rd degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one makes sense.
Binomial. That one works out. Let's talk about,
So if it's a binomial or
Let's
a
go number
polynomial, it
47.
has 4.
number 47. Say
It
what?
has 4.
If it has 4, it's a polynomial. It
7
has
is
more
a
than 3.
polynomial.
So 47 is a polynomial. Right, so it's a polynomial with
47?
2 variables to the
47.
2. The 4.
with
2 to the 4. Right?
I'm trying to use my own logic on this, and this is falling short. Yes, that's what it says. A polynomial with 2 variables of the 4th. So basically what they're doing
With 2 variables to the 4.
is basically if it doesn't have an exponent, they're just dropping it and leaving it alone. If it has an exponent, then they're adding 1 for each exponent. So in 48,
So 48 is a trinomial to
So basically,
A trinomial.
3 variables.
a trinomial with
1
3
variable to the 3rd.
3
See, here again,
variables.
doesn't make any sense. You're saying 3 variables to the 5th.
I get why because there's M and P there.
Why?
M and P.
I know,
So
but they
what?
don't have an exponent.
I
They
don't
don't
know,
have
but it makes
exponents.
sense.
So
No,
one of them is wrong.
Yes.
One of them is just wrong in the answer key.
So it's a triangle.
3 variables of the 5th. 48 is a trinomial with 3 variables of the 5th degree.
Agree, but see, look.
So I
there's
can
3
work
different
with that.
variables
Three
in the
different-
whole
I can work with that, but the one back here on, what was it, 9?
9. What's
9, that one I would say would be 3 variables in the second.
This one is 3 variables.
No, I get why they're saying there's
3
only 2
variables to the
variables.
5th.
Okay, but they keep switching it up.
Yeah, there's 3 variables on the next one.
Okay, and so on 49, that is what?
1 variable to the 7th.
A monomial
2
with
variables.
2 variables to the 7th.
3 variables.
Don't do the extra fractions.
I still didn't get 48 right.
48 is a trinomial with 3 variables of the 5th degree. I'm going to have to spend some time researching that, and I don't.
I get why they're saying it.
I don't.
But look, there's only 3 different variables in the whole part though.
What they're doing is they're adding their variables together, but that's just not making sense in the 48 and 49.
And why did they have 3 though? Because 7 doesn't even have anything after it.
Yeah, but it's still part of the they call it a trinomial. But there's no variable on 7, which
I know, that's why I'm asking why is there, why
Yeah.
is it so 3 right?
I need help on 38 right now.
hang on. I need to make a note here. That's 3.4. I don't want you to do any more of those till you know what's going on. Till I know what's going on. 'Cause it sure seems confusing to me. All right, so you said 38.
Yeah.
Along is 3 times as long as it is what?
Just like we did that L equals.
Label and
Yeah.
represent the values of the variable, right? So the length of the lawn is
L.
So L, length of the lawn equals L.
actually going to want the width first. So the width is W. And the length is
So you have to
3W.
write width equals W.
Width equals W, length equals 3W. That's what you're looking
Equals W. Then what?
for. The width is 3W.
So you write width equals W and then width
The
equals.
length equals 3W. Width equals W and length is 3W. It just says the length is 3 times as long as it's wide, right? All right, it's time for first recess. Christie. I'm going to start on time.
The good move part.
Mr. Kent got confused.
Mr. Kent, I need help on my lunch box.
Where are you guys at in your algebra?
I'm done.
He's done
Look at this one.
That's because I didn't do any of the.
It's beautiful.
It's fine.
Colors is almost when they're joining celebration.
But then it's
It doesn't say anywhere in the lesson that you did, it almost made it almost.
In your reading, you read Bible reading, does it say what?
No, I don't.
I'm pretty sure
I'm
it
actually
says.
kind of bad at it.
That you do rejoice or like.
What did you get, Christy?
Told the audience.
You got 5.5 wrong.
Right, I got
You did ask me or
Oh, I
something.
thought I was one from
Yeah, well, I didn't
No.
see that.
I just got like some negatives, but it wasn't supposed to be negative.
Yeah, we need to,
You might think
we
that.
need a full hour class to just sort through some of that.
But I thought it. Is it like the epic bad part or what? New part?
The new part is very confusing to the point where Mr. Kent isn't quite sure.
And then I had to question it.
Okay.
Gideon, did you find Richard?
Richard, oh, where's Richard? Yeah, there he is. What was your name?
I don't know.
Me either.
Let's show them.
I almost want to. I don't know. What do you guys want to play?
What's your question?
Well, if it's windy,
I
play
don't
soccer.
Well, we're not playing volleyball.
Play soccer. I don't care, whatever you.
What are you gonna play, Lou? I don't care. What are you gonna play, Mr. Kent?
Can't play volleyball, that's not my choice.
What are you gonna play first?
I don't really care to play.
Where
Where not?
are you leaving? N squared plus 8. So the 11 come out negative 6.
What do we play?
I haven't heard it.
We'll play, I guess we'll play soccer.
Not -6, no.
5?
Not -5 either.
No, just 5.
Number 11? See what I got. One second. find it. Yep, I got 5 on that one. It's orange too.
I don't know about here or here. Okay, there again when there's 2 components and we had to tie it to the other person's butt. And then you trip and pop and then you get to the end. The amount of selling for the list,
The pig's head was on a
They lace
Like,
these
you know,
documents tight in the what?
She said the pig's head was on a thing.
Oh, I'm like, did they?
Yeah.
Not very cool.
A really big thing. Oh, we obviously didn't do any better with dog packing lunches than I did. They're like, oh my god, my lunch packing abilities. So, all of them, all 184 of them. What did they have to pack their own lunch? I packed their lunches. You should just, did they pack it today?
I don't know who did. Somebody did.
You should make them pack their own lunches and their lunch and just complain.
I wish it was raining right now.
Yeah, right?
Makes me feel happier when it rains. And my back wouldn't have to hurt.
Everything comes in. Oh, I don't feel it. It's so cold. Okay, time to put my foot up.
waiting, Lenny. They're picking teams.
Those are pretty tricky.
Not too
You
bad.
can just, the wind is like,
The
we're
wind is,
fighting against it and then
We get that side next time.
yeah, we expect
yeah,
it.
I think
Fine.
that'd be fair to switch it up.
Except for at lunch, it's not gonna be windy, I bet. Just
Well, no, it's definitely gonna be windy. That's the way life works. Never gets better.
Man, without making it go like so close.
It's the truth of the matter is we have way too many people out there,
Yeah.
and that makes it. Well,
That game was actually okay, I think.
it was not too bad.
But with that water, I had a clear open shot and I just hammered it into Kyle.
My one hand that I got caught on that person. My hand, I feel bad about it because I'm not sure if it was because my thumb was against me, like this. Yeah. So it was against me, but it wasn't. You know.
This is only an 8-digit calculator.
Yeah, it's not a very good one.
Mine has 10 digits or something.
Basically, I just kind of gave up on. Well, I had like what, 3 scientific calculators at home or something. For sure 2, I think. But I just use a computer calculator because for a big problem, we're gonna need a lot more digits because
Cut your whole screen up.
basically 3 and you can do graphing and all sorts of fun stuff.
You have fun calculators. It's fun to just take them and just get as big as them as you can. You can actually get pretty big ones. Or else take them apart. It's kind of cool.
Taking calculators apart. They're really interesting how they work. I'm not
Aren't they
an expert.
basically just a mini computer?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it all depends on your knowledge of the computer. Also, maybe we should save this for a quote. If a computer doesn't work, is it actually a computer? Because it doesn't compute?
Yeah, it's still a computer.
No, computers compute.
Yes,
Just
it
because.
is. Just because it doesn't work anymore just means it's a broken.
Yeah, just because I'm a dead person doesn't mean I'm not a person. Yeah, exactly.
What if it never did compute?
It's
No,
still a
it hasn't
computer.
ever started computing.
Just because
That does not
they
matter,
didn't ever
Mr.
breathe real air doesn't mean that they're a baby. So there's that person.
Well, I would feel the same way if somebody stole my computer parts, for sure. Turns out I bought computer parts back when they were cheap, and now I have them sitting around in my closet and I'm using them. It's leasing the most expensive part. It is about tripled in price.
How much does the most expensive part cost?
It's supposed to only cost about $500.
How much does it really
Triple?
cost?
That's like,
Right around 1,500. As a result, I have been ignoring.
What would you do if you had that part?
Still not build a computer. Because I already have 2.
So
We'll
shall
use the third one.
I work on that?
Yes, don't worry about the new stuff right now. Actually, no, we're not typing. I want to do some stuff. I want to learn some stuff on math first before I type it. I have to do a little research. Quantum research facility. All right, let's check it out. Listen. I'm just so excited about the podium that's speaking.
what did you do for it?
I gave it to Brilliant. So if you
Do something with it?
and he used the magical.
Use the magic. What is it?
He spoke to it in terms of wisdom.
What is this?
The podium, it doesn't squeak anymore. It doesn't shake, it doesn't rattle. It's solid as rock as a roll. Alright. Number 1. Use some associated with sinners and ate with them. Very terrible things to be doing. First 3 words. That both the shepherd and the woman said to friends and neighbors rejoice with me.
Number 3, there is joy or rejoicing.
I have the angels are joyful.
I said God rejoice.
I have there is joy. There is joy. Joy. 4. They classed them as sinners and despised them.
It said they didn't even talk to that word. Does that word? They didn't talk to them. Meaning that they just thought so low of them that they wouldn't even talk to them.
Yeah, it's important that they class them as sinners.
I have the Pharisees and the Publicans because the Publicans collected taxes.
So does that?
It was less about the taxes and more about the fact that they thought they were sinners.
They thought they were sinners because they collected taxes.
No, because they cheated on the taxes, generally speaking.
I thought that's what I said.
No.
What?
So would mine be wrong?
It's more about, no, don't count around, just put it in the classroom center. And B is publicans collecting taxes for the Roman government, and often overcharged the people who kept the extra.
I just have because they got taxes for
That works.
have they cheated people?
I have because they were greedy for money.
They added illegal taxes and kept the proceeds.
Say what?
I have they added illegal taxes and kept the proceeds.
No. Yeah, it's definitely more about the fact that they were working for the Romans and they overcharged people. Yeah, can you go show me that?
Because they were greedy for money.
Well, in a loose sort of general way, that almost works. This is really not quite the problem. Put in that they overcharge people. I guess don't count it wrong. Number 5, A is publican, B is sinners. I don't care which order. 6, to draw them toward his father or bring them into the heavenly kingdom.
I have to save that which was lost. I have to see
Teach him a lesson.
It was an opportunity to draw them toward his father.
I have to see and save that which is lost.
That'll work. Teach him a lesson? I don't know if that's really it. How do you figure?
Well, so he sat with the publicans and sinners, and they listened to him. And the Pharisees got mad at them, and so Jesus did it again to teach them Pharisees lesson.
No, that's actually completely not right. He wasn't trying to teach anybody a lesson. He wasn't trying to aggravate anybody. He was trying to draw the publicans and sinners to him, to his father. So you can take the point for that. 7 is true. 8 is true. 9 is false. 10 is false. 11 is D. 12, A, B, D, and E. All 4. Everything but C. 13. They did not like that Jesus paid attention to the people that they disdained or resented the God who received sinners, even the sinners they repented. It's actually a similar attitude to Jonah, now that you mention it.
I have because they thought it was the same when you received them.
Okay. Yeah, that's also true.
I have they said they didn't get much attention. Like they all were focused.
Oh, you're saying that the Pharisees were focused on attention to them.
No, they didn't get much attention for themselves. Like, the people
The Pharisees.
The people wouldn't come to them. They would go to Jesus.
Oh, that way. Oh. That's an interesting viewpoint. Don't count that one wrong. I like that. I like that idea. That might have been part of it as well. Who knows? Yeah, that'll work. Would you ever
13.
for 13?
They didn't like Jesus paying attention to the people they disdained.
Do we ever do that?
Because they didn't like it when the sinners talked to Jesus.
Yeah. All right. 14. Is likewise I say unto you, there is joy in the presence of the angels over one sinner that repenteth. 15:10. 15. Any 4 similarities? They have 5 here, so you should have 4 of these 5. Some things were lost. The owner searched for the lost item. The lost was found.
find or call friends and neighbors to rejoice, and there's and or for the joy and kind of.
I had for one of the night they both left. They left the rest of their coins and people and they don't want them all.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. And you have that instead of the owner search for the lost item, or do you have?
Now I have that plus they put plus the owner want much for it. For the items.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
I have something was lost. It was searched diligently for. It was found. People rejoice.
Sure. Verbatim almost. 16. You should have circled B, D, E, G, and H.
Okay, what was that again?
B, D, E, G, and H.
I think this is my first 100%
I do not.
I'm proud of myself.
I just have less. Like I don't have B and G because Jesus told stories to make his point while teaching. That is just a very general.
Yes.
I narrowed it down to those 3 parables.
So you don't have D either?
No, I have D, and I have E, and I have H.
So you don't have G?
I don't have G.
So you're missing
Because
G
that's
and-
not really the main point of the parable.
Yeah, I feel you.
You got it right last night.
I'm just reading I'm reading the questions and the answers to these, so I try to sort it out. That's all I'm doing. Cleaning the house is the best way to find lost items. That's it.
That one's funny.
That's actually true, though. It is true, yes, but it wasn't the point. It wasn't the point.
Yeah, that's the idea. It's like it's normal to want to share good names with friends, but that's not the point of the story.
Well, if you had C, well, C circle, I'll tell you right or wrong. If you have B and G not circled, just circle them. Don't worry about points on it. All right. Say again?
Look at that. You forgot it.
One wrong is 96, 2 is 93, 3 is 89, 4 is 96, 5 is 82.
Numbers, number 1 in the next lesson doesn't make any sense.
You say number 9?
1.
Number 1. Before leaving home, the younger son said, oh,
I read and reread
What
the
did it say?
passage that it said 3, but I couldn't
That
find
was not me, but I always just like find
yeah.
it doesn't quite make sense.
it. Doesn't make
I said that before leaving home, the younger son said, "Give me," after coming to himself. No wait, whatever. He planned to tell his father, "Hire me as a servant."
Yeah. Make me a servant, that's what he said. Yeah.
Well,
So give me the, the things that I have and make me, that's the right answer
So the first one is give me.
here. First, give me this. Second one is make. Imagine being so hungry that you would wish to eat pig food.
And 15. Did the father urge his son to join in the celebration?
yeah, I needed help on that too, but you just kind of gave me the answer.
I just kind of gave him the answer, yes. I don't think it actually says here. Hang on a second.
I said false. Yeah. No.
Okay, so maybe
yeah,
that's
true.
They do have true. It's in the Bible. Like you can tell by the little Bible symbol next to it.
Oh, is that what we're supposed to?
So you can look. You look in the Bible in the
But number
16:11-32.
Wait, is it true?
The older son,
It is true, yes, but it is in the you would find it in the Bible reading.
he treated the
Well, I should.
older son unfairly. That one, I did.
For 16?
Yeah.
Did he treat him unfairly?
I think both, because he didn't treat him unfairly. It's just what he did to the other brother that made him angry.
Okay, so when it boils down to it, what happened, this is an important thing to keep in mind for this story, anytime you read it. But the fact that, so the younger son, he got what was his right off the bat, and he blew it all in his riotous living. He came back home, and he has nothing. That half of his inheritance that his father was going to give to him is gone. So he is, I mean, he's got to work for his brother in the future. So the fact that his dad rejoiced when he came home is that's a completely irrelevant thing in comparison to what the actual repercussions are of having gone through this thing. Like the kid is still destitute. I mean, he still has nothing. It doesn't really matter. How much people rejoice. The kid, he's still got nothing. His dad is going to give him nothing more. He has, they killed the fatted calf. So what? It was a party. It's still his dad's calf, and he decided he was going to have a party over his son coming back. And the older son chose to get all offended, we'll say, just because,
So that one would be true.
Did he treat the older son unfairly?
It'd be false. He did
No,
not treat
he
him
didn't.
He did not treat him unfairly.
No.
No. You'll find that
He
in
mistreated the other one.
15:31, which is it in the Luke 15:31? Should have read that. Yeah, it would be in the second to last verse there. What does it say when you get to open?
Where?
Luke 15:31.
And he said unto him, Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. Good for him. He was the favorite son
Okay, but-
forevermore.
Is that all that is? That's the whole verse of 31.
I needed help with number 10, I couldn't find it. It was-
Page 8, paragraph 3.
Mr. Kent, what does this note mean?
It means that I'm going to be a little harder on your penmanship.
Does that mean I don't have 100?
Are you doing that for me too, right? Are you gonna be part of my?
Both of you need help. Spelling is one thing, absolute just stick writing is a complete other thing. Like when you write talk, it looks like
My handwriting has not been here to have pet.
Mine that bad?
Mine is not that bad. I know what you're doing.
but you can do a lot better and you have the time to do it.
You
That's
said
why.
paragraph
So-
3 or 4?
Paragraph 3 should be.
Because the one paragraph is ended on page 8.
Page 8, paragraph 3, so 1, 2, so I think, what is the question?
Here is the father of his 2 sons that he's in.
Yeah, basically just was picking out. It says, even so, God forgives those who once deliberately rejected him. Our Heavenly Father eagerly longs for each sinner to return to him. Basically, they're figuring that you'll pick up the illusion.
Father? Or
God, the Father represents, is that what it's saying? The Father represents who?
God.
Yes.
For number 22 in lesson 2, it's one of those dumb true or false, correct or false statements.
Mm-hmm.
So when a sinner, or if a lost thing, when a sinner repents, it says the angels rejoice, but does it want them to, so it's true that there's
join heaven,
Mm-hmm.
but do they want angels?
No. If you have joy in heaven, that's what we're looking for.
Is it there? So, and this no. So you have that note. Does that mean for this lesson or this lesson?
Lesson you do today.
So I get to keep my 100 on this one.
I guess.
Okay.
Not because I feel like that.
So that penmanship. That means just the penmanship part, or
I'm just basically, yeah, I mean, essentially. Like, no, like the penmanship on the whole lesson. Like, you just have to make it legible, not do things sloppily just for the sake of doing them sloppily. Nice!
You improved over last. Perfect. You had no errors in your
That guy.
Did I turn it up again?
Yeah, that was alright.
I thought it was
She can encourage us all day.
I thought it was so viral.
I did too, actually. It actually does sound.
You should do a fire alarm.
Huh?
You should.
Good fire.
Yeah.
No, I don't feel like it. I'll do one some other day. So, at my last workplace is also supposed to do fire drills, which,
Does this happen pretty frequently?
well, I set the fire alarm off timer 7.
How?
Well, one time I was cleaning, and there was, I always had this habit of going and finding the dirtiest corner I could clean because it was the most fun. And I was using an air hose to get some dirt out of the corner, and there was a fire alarm, smoke detector above me. And it got so smoky and nasty, or so dusty and nasty, that it set off the fire alarm.
Did everybody run around and freak out?
Well, the boss came looking. Yeah, that's what happened. For sure. Mostly everybody was like, so what? No, I was always the guy, I was just the joker who was always setting stuff off.
Pretty soon they're just like, oh.
Yeah, just silly safety odds. I don't have time to stop and do anything about this fire. And that's what happened. Over time, wolf. These are good spelling words.
Try that. I don't think they're going to be very fun.
Pluto.
What?
Pluto.
Oh
Isn't
no.
that a plan?
Mm. As
What
an
is that
adjective.
one word? Is that a duo?
Duo? Yes.
Is that Luke?
Pluto. Transmute. Cuticle.
Ah.
Aluminum. Tycoon.
What's that last word?
Impudence.
What in the world does that mean?
That's when some little sassy rat opens his mouth too much.
what?
Roughly. Just, like, seriously, guys, you could totally line this up. Now we're talking about active and passive voice. We could have lumped that in with the English, and it wouldn't have hurt anybody. I don't think. What do you know?
Hear that stuff? It's calming. I don't know if I can stand
Let's
that.
play camping. Let's set up a tent.
No, our tent's gonna blow away.
Or trampoline. There's nothing like trying to jump on a trampoline while it's going away.
You have to jump way out in front of it.
Yeah, you have to jump. Well, it's going that way.
And then all of a sudden change directions on you.
It's like,
Yeah.
so you would walk up into the corner somewhere.
Mr. Kerr,
Hmm.
is there a difference between a beetle and a bug?
Mr. Kent, can you skip 27?
No, like in cars, a beetle and a bug. Is there
What's 27? I think that.
Not really, no. See, they have a super beetle and a beetle. That's a big difference between that.
I don't need
I have a super beetle. Means that's 45 volts instead of 38. Hours.
That's not very much worse.
No, it's actually very, very little.
How much?
About 45.
Yeah, that's
not
very
really
little.
I think our four-wheeler has about that much horsepower.
I mean,
I'd be
like,
surprised.
my truck has like 300 horsepower, like, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's also a lot heavier. My car, empty, weighs about 1,500 pounds.
I didn't grab that, did you want to do that?
Yeah, you actually can. Like 3 guys can get on the front end of that. Good. Weight. Move it sideways.
We should
Actually, 3
try
guys
that.
can get on the back and move it sideways as well.
You know, is it front wheel or back?
It's rear wheel drive. And engine is back as well. So all the weight's in the rear.
Well, can you ride wheelies?
Can.
If you put the right amount of weight in the rear, I imagine it'll probably do it. It drifts fairly well under the right circumstances. Take enough weight of it.
Sounds like fun.
And then I lost the hubcap there now.
What's in a positive?
You tell me.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
What's in a positive? Leah, you know what a positive is?
Oh, is it like those things?
Come after a link. They come after an action verb and
They're
the
set
subject
off
without-
by comma.
No, they come after the noun after naming it without using a linking verb.
Correct. Without using a linking verb, they rename it. So
And they're
if
set
I would
off by
say,
commas.
if I would say, Leah, I'm gonna use you, my student. I'm trying to think of a nice thing to say about you. Yeah, I'm having a hard time.
That was really.
Is usually very diligent. Okay.
I like the usually part.
Well, you don't want to be too untruthful. What is the
You
positive?
spelled diligent. Is that
I
a
don't
U?
think so. G-E-N-T.
That looks like a U. It looks like a U.
Okay. Let's see a positive here. Richard.
Yeah.
My student.
Student.
No, Richard, but that's all right.
Oh.
My student, yes, this is the whole positive. Or a positive phrase. This is the student renaming. Leah, mine was, describing the student.
They also have a bunch of adverbs.
Yes.
Usually very.
All right. Let's talk about active and passive voice.
Should we not?
I think I know.
Basically, the biggest thing to keep in mind, and this is actually kind of a big deal. I very rarely advocate for the use of passive voice. There's sometimes, like if you have to emphasize something, if you want to emphasize a different part of the sentence or the thing that's preceding the action, you'll use passive voice. But most of the time, you want to use active because it's more gripping. People have ADD. Everybody does. Everybody has an attention deficit disorder. And so what that means is that you have to keep things moving and be excited, right? And that's what active voice is about. So, if you have, for example,
So it's basically, if it's happening right now, then it's active. If it happened,
not really.
if it's gonna happen or it already happened, then it's passive.
So like, say if it
Here's-
goes, Richard shot a deer, that would be
Here's the deal.
passive.
Basically,
But the deer got shot by Richard would be active?
no.
The deer was shot by Richard.
The deer was shot by Richard. Here's basically what you do. If the subject is acting, then it's active voice, right? So let's use your example because that's a brilliant one. Richard shot the deer. Pardon my penmanship. This is terrible.
One shot at the
Yeah.
Richard shot,
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
no, Richard
Oh,
shot, Richard shot the 300-point whitetail.
Yeah, right.
Right. So
Uh,
our
if you get a
subject
picture,
is
send it to me.
Chris. Subject is
Richard.
Richard. Is the subject, and he's doing something. The verb.
Okay.
The verb is showing that Richard is actively doing something. It's happened in the past. That's fine. Doesn't matter.
Richard actively
Or-
shot the deer. He didn't just sit on his camp chair.
If you have the deer was shot,
No, the 170
Why?
whitetail.
yes. We should just give it a name.
Whatever.
Hank. That's what Richard's hunter and he always calls the big bucks Hank.
Hank? Yeah. Oh, Hank there. All right. So here, the subject is obviously here. We switched it around, but it's being acted upon. The action is happening to the deer. The deer is doing the action is happening to the deer. It's kind of an accident, right? So this is passive. This is passive voice when the action is happening to something, and this is active. Active voice when the subject is doing the action. Right? So you have to find the verb and the subject, and you have to figure out whether the subject is doing the action or whether the subject is receiving the action. So, for example, number one, what would that be?
That would be active.
Right, because Volkswagen is your subject,
Manufacturer.
manufacturers is your, Volkswagen is doing the action. Volkswagen is manufacturing its vehicle. And actually manufacturing
Number
its
2
vehicle.
would be active too.
No, that would be passive because
No.
the magazine has been
The
published.
magazine is not doing any action. The magazine is receiving the action, so it's passive, right? It doesn't even say who's doing it, doesn't even have
So
the
is it
fact.
passive or active? Passive.
Number 2 is passive, yes.
And number
The
3
Ladies' Home
would
Journal.
be, number 3 would be passive too, because
Number 3 is also passive, yes.
Charlotte Elliott,
Charlotte Elliott wrote the poem would be the way to say that in active.
yeah.
Number 4, what is it?
The
Leah?
last,
Number 4 is it, what's the,
I think it's passive.
okay, well, just think
Yeah,
about
it will be.
it.
It
Is
will be
the action
passive.
happening to it, or is it doing the action?
It's happening to it, so it's passive.
Right.
What?
Exactly.
Is the last one active?
Is it? Did you read it?
No, it's
What's the
it's
subject?
passive. Will be
What
driven.
Yeah, that's
What's the
passive
verb?
too.
Will be driven.
All right, who's doing the action?
Alan and Jerry.
Right, so the action is
And
being
they're
done by
object
somebody
of
else. The
position.
boys are receiving this action, so it's also passive. That's correct. So, you can change passive voice to active voice and vice versa. So, for example, these are, all 6, 7, and 8 are passive voice, and we'll work on changing them to active, right? Basically what you do is you take the thing that's doing the action, you switch it up, yeah, basically, so, like this, in number 6. Joshua and Ryan, no, the old relic was found by Joshua and Ryan in Grandma's attic. So the subject here is the
Joshua and
relic.
Ryan. So Joshua
So
and
you
Hang
Ryan.
on,
Joshua
we're starting out
and
with
Ryan.
relic. We're starting out with relic, right? And the action is happening to the relic, right?
So
So
that's
who's
passive.
doing the action?
Ryan.
Joshua and Ryan.
Joshua
So because we
and
put
Ryan.
Joshua and Ryan in the front as the subject, we write down Joshua and Ryan found the old relic in Grandma's attic. That's how you would
Yeah.
change it from passive
Well,
to
what did
active
you say?
voice.
I,
Joshua and
can
Ryan.
we just do these in class
Hang
and
on,
not write them
hang
down?
on. No, we're going down. Basically, you start out with, you have to figure out who did the action, and then you have to write the sentence that way, right? So
Did
you have Joshua and
found the old
Ryan
relic in Grandpa's
found
attic?
the old relic in Grandpa's attic. Now you have Joshua and Ryan doing some action,
Can you-
rather than having the action be done to something else. Talk to me.
For like number 7, we have the sponsors will provide food and transportation.
Gonna be
Alright,
the new
whatever.
sponsors provided.
Yeah, the new sponsors will.
You have to use the same verb tense.
So you have to add all the rest of the sentence.
Yes. You have to use the same verb tense. So our verb tense will be what?
Will provide.
Will provide, right? So rather than will be provided as it will provide. The youth sponsors will provide food and transportation for the excursion. You can also, going over to number 9, you can also go backwards. You can go from active to passive voice. So basically, why you would want to do this, I don't know. But in number 9, how would we do that?
The old text in rang.
Number 9.
Right.
The little
Oh,
text in rings
Where?
pictures?
Where? Okay.
Number 9 on page 21.
Falling Water was designed by Falling Water, a house built over a waterfall, was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright.
Right. So now falling water is your subject.
So you
A house built over a waterfall isn't a positive, but then you have your action happening with falling water. Falling
So
water
you-
was designed by Frank.
So it'd be falling water, a house built over a waterfall, Frankwood, no, was designed by Frank.
By Frank Lloyd Wright, that's correct.
So
Basically,
you go, voila,
exactly.
voila.
You just change it so that the subject is receiving the action here, rather than doing the action.
So there we go.
Oh, sweet. Seven.
Yeah.
They're pony nouns. We'll go through here with this. We'll work out that together in class.
So it.
Okay. So it is, they don't have that as one as a noun. That's technically a pronoun. For some reason they don't count. So if you have that one circled, I won't be.
Underline.
Or underline.
I didn't even do that part yet, so.
That's all right.
So months.
Months is one. We're gonna go around in a circle and try to get them in order. So go to the
Janet.
first one at months.
Janet,
Chris, Janet,
Janet.
Richard,
Family.
family. Leah,
Ranch.
Cody,
Country.
and Chris.
Oregon.
Richard.
Either they or Oregon.
Oregon would go before. And then they is Vermont.
Doctor.
Yes.
Daddy.
Yep.
Wife.
Yes.
Family?
Yes.
Ranch.
Yes.
Taxes.
Let's say it. On sale.
Oh,
That'll be an object of preposition.
Taxes.
Tax is the next one.
Price.
Yes.
Homestead.
Yep.
One.
Say again.
One.
No. No one. Oh my goodness. No one could make
They
a.
do living.
Living, yes. It's a,
Oh,
it's,
okay.
it's a germ. It is a verb. I mean, it is a noun. Okay, so living is the next one. And Chris? No.
Farming.
Farming, yes. A germ uses a preposition. Richard?
Land.
And Leah.
Teacher.
That's it.
So, thanks for the help.
Hold on one time.
No, not even close. 17, daguerreotype.
What?
The positive phrase, the daguerreotype, an early type of photograph was produced on silver plate,
Internet.
which which is the actual, which is the positive in there?
Type.
Type.
Where is
The
this?
phrase?
And early type of
17.
photograph.
Yes. Right. And what on number 11? What is
Wouldn't it go from all to who, the dotted line?
Yeah.
you're right.
And my dotted line is like horizontal.
Yeah, this one is pretty much as well. So what's the subject of that one?
To
Jesus.
or Jesus.
Jesus is the subject of the sentence. And he
Where is
is,
it at here?
is number 11.
I'm not 100% on
What is refuge?
that one. Predicate adjective.
Refuge is a predicate.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much, that's correct, so now. And then A goes under that. For all is a prepositional phrase under refuge, right?
And then
Now we have who are weary, weak, and or disconsolate.
who
So,
is the subject?
yes.
Are is the verb. And weak, weary, and desolate.
Direct object.
Disconsolate, I would try.
Whatever.
They are what?
Predicate adjectives.
They're definitely not direct objects.
No, I know that.
Yes.
I do. Now let's get going.
Alright. Classical.
Who's Christmas Carol
I
Kaufman?
know, that's the
She's an author, that's just a pen name.
Christmas Carol.
That's just pretending. What's your real name?
No problem, Carol Kaufman. I have no clue.
What does she write about?
There's some books that goes out.
Yeah, but I don't want to read them because they sound chronically boring.
I think they're boring.
Mom made her read one of them.
They're pretty bad.
I started them and
I
never.
started about 2 of them as assignments.
I've never even heard of them.
Is she the one that
Basically,
I
well,
think
this
I
is not
read
quite true, but this is for modern day, not back then. But basically, a book about Mennonites written by Mennonites usually is really stinking boring.
I know.
Very boring.
I hate
Yeah.
books about religion.
Somebody needs to write a Mennonite book that's like so interesting. Or like
Like,
not so
I've,
interesting,
like-
but interesting.
I've read some good ones,
I don't know.
like
I don't think that would be my
like
With
ones
all your
about
I'm not
words.
really an author.
ones about like the early church written by Mennonites. Those are okay.
It
Well,
can be.
the
Like a
thing
life
is,
of
most books about Mennonites, like Mennonite lives, are so
Very predictable.
boring and just
They
unappetizing.
are in
Things like
books.
that kidnapped or make it interesting.
They should write a book about Sasha or something.
Yeah, that's what I was
Spice
saying.
it up.
That might be.
All right, English. Where is everybody with me? No, not yet.
Do we want to be with you
Yes, you do.
in English?
Of course you do. I'm
My
your
dad
favorite
asked me-
teacher this year.
My dad asked me last night if I was trying in English.
Wasn't that
Work
bad.
hard.
He said it was an 87. He said it's not bad.
That's bad.
I would say.
I think my
Your
parents
dad's
would have been
asking you,
offended.
you're actually trying in the subject.
Yeah,
Very
I am trying, but like, I'm trying, Dad.
I'm trying to try.
It was that test that kind of pulled it down.
When are we getting into the book?
Tonight.
Why did they take it on him? That's for sure.
Why
We
wasted
have
it?
fought with software. I don't know what you're talking about.
Why is it?
I haven't
We
seen
don't
it.
want I don't want my parents to see it Wednesday night before I do.
Your parents have already seen it.
One of them, not both.
Cool. And your mother's gonna be.
You don't think they communicate?
I imagine they probably talk behind your back.
Mine do.
Mine do.
That's the thing about parents is they'll talk behind your back.
You can hear them. They talk bad, but we know that.
That's That's
Your
unfortunate.
dad knows that. You learned it.
Mom and dad are
All
always
right.
talking about us.
Or you let him.
What's really fun is it's like high behind a corner.
And they spell out words.
I know, I know.
They try, like, well,
Yeah.
last night
You
Dad asked
guys
if,
try to have your life.
right in front of Justice, he was like, Trina, should I take the LAD to meet with me to the valley tomorrow? And Isaiah could not figure out what LAD was. LAD. Wait? What? Oh, lad! Which one?
The one that's not in school.
One that can't spell.
Yeah, the one that can't spell.
Yeah.
All right. Objective complements. Well, that's an objective compliment. No. Not.
I objected.
So we know what a compliment is, right? So when we talk about a compliment, we're normally talking about I'm talking about right, a direct object to the compliment, predicate, nominative, predicate, adjective, so on and so forth. So now we're going to talk about objective complements, which basically means they sometimes follow a direct object to complete the meaning of the verb. Lord help us all.
What?
So basically, they what they have here is the first one they show us is most Americans find their home states beautiful. Right? Beautiful is the objective complement. It is modifying the direct object, and it is completing the meaning of the verb. There's kind of an easy test to tell you if a word is an objective complement or not. Basically, you can put is or are between the direct object and the objective complement. If you can say, if you can, then you have then it is an objective complement. If you can't, then it isn't. Then it's just an adjective. Right? So it says, a senior classmate, Carl, their president. And say, Carl is president. That's Carl is the direct object, president is the objective complement. So that's the test. Carl is president. Or the vote of confidence made Carl happy. Carl is happy. And there again, it's an objective complement. The reason they call it objective is because it's an object.
It's basically an object of a direct object.
Yeah, it's a direct object. It's an object of a direct object. Okay. Essentially. And actually, the next lesson tells us how to diagram. And they just get simple diagram behind the. Basically, they write as predicate nominative behind the direct object.
Oh, so.
So you have a direct object and you have a
Pretty
predicate
soon we're gonna
nominative.
have a direct object for that.
Well, might as well.
Hey, when we're looking ahead,
Sure.
you think you could skip the personal narrative? By any chance? And then maybe like a character sketch?
We could write one like.
Yeah, we can skip personal narrative and character sketch.
I
I'll be my own character.
Yeah,
That'll be easy.
don't know. I actually was kind of looking forward to the personal.
We just battled our way through like.
The biography.
Yeah, forever. Like 2 days, we like 2 days of rest at the beginning of school and
bam.
Straight into
yeah,
biographies.
straight into biographies.
And now we've had almost, 2 weeks of rest.
No.
Yeah, personal narrative.
You just gave them back, so we just have them again.
Yeah, but you got them done a week and a half ago.
Are you sure?
Yes. I wanted to have them in by
Wednesday.
the Wednesday of the week before cards were coming out. And then my family came and I just simply still didn't get my check. So, you have had sufficient amount of breathe time. Anyway, but we're going to talk about predicate complements. Number one. First thing to do is find the direct object, right? And there are objective complements in each one of these. The direct object is Joash.
Oh.
The direct object is Joash. The objective complement is king. Right? Joash is king. And therefore you know it's the objective complement. Number 2. What's the direct object? What's the objective complement?
The one cat is the
Minister. Excuse me, yes, it's underlined.
Chief is another to
No. Chief is describing minister. Number 3. Circle Jacob. And say what? Underline Israel. No, underline Israel makes more sense. Yes. I don't know. Feels like we're getting kind of right direction here. I'll let you do the last 3 by yourselves. I want to talk about. We're going to do 7 through 12. Alright? So you're going to have to basically, these are all complements, predicate, nominative, predicate, adjective, direct objects, indirect, and objective complements. So, we have to identify them. Number 7, a hamster may run 5 miles on a wheel. Good, sweet son of a... It is simply a direct object. May run miles, yes.
I got it.
Okay. May run miles. 8. Who do you have, Lisa? What are you gonna have?
That would be objective.
King anglefish, or angelfish. Angelfish it is. Make the teeth of sharks clean.
Yeah, it would be. Teeth is an object and clean.
Right. Why is sharks not involved here? Precisely. So teeth is your direct object, and clean is your objective complement. 9 is predicate. All right, Kirsty, you've done your share. Christy, what's 10? Hmm?
Direct object.
No.
Predicate.
No. What is a direct object?
Something that receives the
It's
action.
indirect
Which would be for
object.
babies.
Gives. No. She's not giving her babies.
Yeah,
She's giving protection.
What she's.
It is an indirect object, yes. She's giving her babies protection. The babies are receiving the protection. The protection is receiving the action it gives. 11, Lisa.
Is that an objective complement?
Okay, where would the direct object be? Feet?
Predicate adjective connection.
You're right, it is a predicate adjective. That's good. And Christy, what do you do for 12?
I'm a direct object.
Yes, they have fur. I don't know. It might be kind of a little bit of a thing to catch on to, but I don't think they're actually really bad. Only going to sneak up on you at least expect it. All right. Some more things I want you to look at here. 23 through 26.
Yes.
What is number 23? Yes, number 23 is present. Happening now. Has the sunglasses. All right? Has in the verb, by the way. Christy, what is number 24?
Is trying as the verb.
Yes, it's trying as a verb.
Oh, present. It's present something.
It is present something,
Maybe present perfect.
not present perfect.
Okay,
What if it were perfect, it would end in ed, correct?
problem. What about present progressive?
It's present progressive, yes. So it ends in ing because it's present progressive. That's the way. That's the best way to decide whether it's progressive or perfect. Because it ends in ed, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect. Because it ends in
What's present perfect progressive?
Say what?
What's present perfect progressive?
Well, it's a chart. Or a chart. Present. Perfect.
Have we
Progressive.
learned that one?
Have been moving. So it ends in ing again because have been.
What will be happening is future perfect progressively.
So 25, hey, I'm back there at 25.
Oh, that's past.
Past what?
Perfect.
Past perfect. That's
This
correct.
one.
What's your verb, by the way, Lisa?
Had been.
Have been.
Okay. 26. Bruce, what do you have?
Future perfect.
Right, because it ends in ing. Future progressive. Will be happening. That's correct.
Now they're talking about the death of the Orthodox.
Watch out. No. He's trying to have past perfect or past progressive.
Past perfect.
Is there such a thing as past progressive?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
So
like
it's- yeah.
RB.
Are being is yeah, which linking verb is that? Past. Past progressive was and were. Wasn't were, so was thinking. Say what?
18 through 20.
Yes. I was just going to give you some guidance on that. How do you know whether well is an adverb or not?
That's how you use it.
Okay. So give me an example.
Oh, I've got one already. The adverb. That
You
won't
can't
be-
use one from the. You can't use it in any of them.
The dog was round as well.
Dog is well on his way.
Yeah.
On his way is a prepositional phrase. The dog was well. Just-
Oh, that
I would
be
say
another
that would be an
adjective.
adjective, yes.
Like they have in here as an adverb, you did well on that place.
The dog.
You can also say somebody types well,
The dog runs.
or you can say, like, you have to use a verb and say somebody does it well. Basically, he runs well.
Draws well.
Exactly.
He
Drawing well,
races well.
something like that.
Paints
Those are all
well,
being used as an adverb.
Decorates well.
See, I only have to have 3 words in there.
He
Technically
does
swell.
well.
Oh, there
He
you go.
does swell.
He swells well.
What word is swell well?
That's a good one. All right, 19, using taste as a linking verb. And they're going to have a predicate adjective. So basically, you use it in place of what? You can use it in place of is. Say something tastes. Yeah, they want taste itself. I think I'm not sure if they want to.
That good is good, that good tastes good. That would be okay.
Right. And then you have the predicate adjective as well. Good, but I would maybe try it.
How do you get an intransitive verb to get followed by an adverb without turning it into a transitive? Like
No,
The dog
so that just
tastes
intransitive just simply means that it doesn't have a direct object, right?
there.
So if like say somebody smiled, then you just describe how they smile.
Mr.
Or
Green, is
you can say
Pluto
somebody ran,
considered a
describe how
planet?
they- Say what?
Is Pluto considered a planet?
It is considered a dwarf planet.
If they have it on here as just a planet.
Yeah, because this is written back before they decided that. The problem is they found 3 other planets and they had to decide whether the 3 other dwarf planets that were bigger than Pluto, and so they had to decide how they were going to classify Pluto, and as a result they just declassified it as a planet. So it's instead of not.
Poor Pluto.
Right.
It's such a hello.
But did Pluto clear its own orbit? Like, or is it in the current development?
Yeah, it's got its own orbit. Around the
So
sun.
I know, but like some of the like series, that one dwarf planet, it's in the middle of the asteroid belt. They have it in there. Well, I was just reading and it said it's not considered a planet or something because it hasn't cleared its own orbit. Has cleared its own orbit.
What does that mean, cleared its own?
Probably
It means it's just going like the Earth. There's nothing in its orbit.
nothing in its way.
Series, it's like in the middle of the asteroid belt, so it's just.
It can run into
And the
anything
chicken-
anytime.
That's our dumb.
All right.
That's like a Marn. Of course, it's down to the ditch.
let's do the spelling words. Once Cody gets back.